So we have some pretty interesting news that came out for the Jets in the past hour or so, and this is that the Jets have signed former Packer QB, former Aaron Rodgers backup Tim Boyle, which is pretty interesting. It came out here from Mike Garofalo. The Jets are signing veteran QB Tim Boyle to a one-year deal, source says. He reunites with offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett, who was his OC with the Packers, and that means someday between now and the end of time, he'll reunite with this guy too, and he put a picture of Aaron Rodgers and Tim Boyle. So this is interesting, I think, for both the Packers and the Jets because with Rodgers and the trade not getting done yet between New York and Green Bay, we've all been wondering, when is it going to be done? When are these talks going to finally come to a conclusion? And it still hasn't happened. So the Jets decide to come in and sign Tim Boyle. And I think the biggest reason for this could be the Jets planning that if it does take longer than maybe they think it will, or if it does take a while for this actual trade to get done with Rodgers, then they can have a player in Tim Boyle who spent a couple of years backing up Rodgers 2019 and 2020, and Nathaniel Hackett was the offensive coordinator. Back in 2019, he was brought in by Green Bay, so he was there with Boyle in 2019 and 2020 as well. So for the Jets, if a trade doesn't happen in the next month or two, which I hope it does for all of our sakes, but if it doesn't happen, the Jets have a guy who can, run off-season workouts, a guy who knows what Aaron Rodgers likes, what he wants. He can teach these receivers what Aaron Rodgers likes, what he doesn't like. And he has that familiarity with Nathaniel Hackett and his offense, so he can probably come in and more easily run it than maybe, Zach Wilson, who is still QB on that team. And so if it takes a couple months and Rodgers isn't there, teaching the guys how he likes things, even though Tim Boyle obviously isn't Aaron Rodgers, he can sort of teach these young receivers, or those receivers there who don't know Rodgers, sort of his tendencies. He also, of course, has Lazard there who can also teach these players about Rodgers. So it seems like a smart move by the Jets, and I am a Packers fan, so I'm admitting it is a smart move by the Jets just in case the trade doesn't happen soon. But if I am Brian Gutekunst, I'm still sitting here looking at everything the Jets are doing, basically planning for Rodgers to 100% be there. And if I'm Brian Gutekunst, I'm still not caving on whatever the Jets are trying to trade for Rodgers. There's lots of debate about what it actually is. We don't for sure know because we're not behind those closed doors. We're not listening in on the phone calls that those guys are having between each other. Brian Gutekunst did say that he's okay not getting a first-round pick as long as the Packers get what he believes is the adequate amount for a premium player in Aaron Rodgers. So if that could be maybe a second-round pick, maybe 2 second-round picks and a player, who knows exactly what's happening. There are talks that maybe it has to do with a 2024 conditional pick regarding whether Rodgers retires or doesn't retire, because there is that risk if you are the Jets that you trade for Rodgers and then he decides to retire after one season. But at the same time, you're getting, Hall of Fame QB to come in for a year, and I think it's pretty valuable if you ask me, which is why I still think Brian Gutekunst is holding out. So we'll see if this trade gets done sometime soon, but if the Jets don't get it done soon, they have a guy who I said can come in and sort of teach players what Aaron Rodgers likes and doesn't like. And if it gets done sometime soon, then Rodgers has a guy who he's pretty good friends with, I believe, and they're in the QB room as well. But that is all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to stay up to date with all Packers news, all Aaron Rodgers trade news, feel free to subscribe down below to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.